Hey everyone, Natalie here, and today I want to talk about a book that I recently read that has completely changed my life, has been extremely inspiring, and I just wanted to share as much as I can with you about what I read. So, the book is Spiritual Driven Success by Danny Johnson. My husband and I actually went to two of her seminars recently, and it completely changed our way of life, the way we think, the way we live our lives. And this book has been absolutely wonderful. She also has an edition that's on CD. I've been listening to the car. I've listened to it twice already. And I have a tendency to take copious notes with any book that I read that I want to learn from, because we have a tendency to lose information very, very quickly. So taking notes is extremely important. So I hope you don't mind. I will be kind of looking down and up a lot in this video because I want to give you a good synopsis of what spiritual driven success is all about. So if you're looking for some guidelines on how to live your life in order to be more successful, this is the book for you. I think most of us are trying to do our best all the time. We want to live in a way that we're good to ourselves, we're good to other people, we work hard, but there's a lot of little details that the Bible gives us that you may not know, or at least I didn't know. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. So in Spiritual Driven Success, I'm just going to cover some general topics that she talks about. Obviously, I can't go through everything, but just so you get an idea of what's in it, and this might be something that you want to pick up yourself. So, 7 steps to poverty. So if you wonder why it's hard for you to get out of debt, or you feel like there's this cap on how much you've been able to make financially, you may be experiencing some of these things, like being half-hearted or lazy in your life. Maybe you have big dreams, but then you're not actually taking action. If you don't have any desire to grow or learn and gain wisdom, that's another thing that could keep you in poverty, because in order to raise yourself to the next level of success, you have to be willing to grow and learn and expand. Being prideful in your prosperity. Pride can get in the way of a lot of growth in your life. If you're hiding your sins, we all make mistakes. We've all got things that we mess up on, but if you're hiding it and you're not humbling yourself and admitting it and asking for forgiveness, that could be holding you back. If you love money more than you love God, holding your finances at a higher level than God, the love for money is the root of all evil. Money itself is not the root of all evil. In the Bible, God actually says that money is the answer to everything. So be aware of these things. This could be a way of you learning how to get to where you really want to be in life and where you deserve to be as well. Being selfish and stingy, or also being fearful. The book also talks about the steps to wealth. So there's 10 steps to wealth. Don't love money more than you love God. Working with excellence, so just always doing your best. Knowing your money's purpose, and this is a big one. If you have a purpose for your money, where you want your money to go, then your money will work for you. If you got some goals or some dreams and some things that you actually want to be spending your money on, but you think you can't, where's your money really going? Are you spending your money on Starbucks and eating out all the time? There's probably a lot of, if you don't have a purpose, your money is probably going out the door in areas that you don't even realize, and you may have the money to do all the things you actually want to do. It's just not going to where it needs to be going. So have a purpose for your money. Know that it's God's money. Money is not yours. It is something that you use for God. God is the one who controls. God gives poverty. God also gives wealth. So by following a lot of the laws of the Bible, you can increase your wealth and your success, really, in any direction that you're looking for. Be generous. Give into the right soil. Understand that there are seasons. There are times of growth and there are times of famine. So being aware of that helps you to prepare for those times, in life where you may need to save more so. prosper where you're planted. So whatever situation you're in your life right now, you find a way to create success in every life situation that surrounds you. And don't hold back. Ask for the big things, ask for whatever your heart desires, and learn from those that are wise. God talks about the fact that we all have gifts. Some people have more gifts than others. There's a gift of prophecy, of service, of serving other people. There are those of us who have the gift of teaching. It's definitely one of mine. I've always wanted to be a teacher since I was a kid, and I teach many different things. Always teaching, no matter where I am. The gift of encouragement. There's a gift of contributing to the needs of others. So many of you may have one, may have several, or a lot of these gifts. And as long as you're aware of the gifts, it allows you to be more conscious of how you use them in your life. There's a gift of leadership, gifts of mercy, messages of wisdom, messages of knowledge. One of the gifts is having faith, healing, miraculous powers, discerning of spirits, speaking in different tongues, and interpreting different tongues. So those are some of the gifts that God mentions in the Bible. So if you have any of those gifts, start using them. There's also 5 positions in the Bibles, whether you're an apostle, which is like a head of an organization. So, if you run your own business, you would be considered an apostle. A prophet, someone who thinks about the future, a forward thinker, someone who's always seeking the next thing. An evangelist is a motivator. So, someone who's a really good promoter, someone who's really good in sales. A pastor is someone who wants to nurture and shepherd people. So, even any management position in any business would be considered a shepherd. And then a teacher, which allows knowledge to be passed on. There are things that create unity and things that break apart unity in any group, whether it's a family, a business, or otherwise. So some unity killers are jealousy, judgment, and pride. And unity builders are love, acceptance, teamwork, honor, humility, encouragement, and obedience. So some food for that there. In life, we are constantly being tested. There's no one that has a perfect life and nothing ever goes wrong. So when we are tested, there are 6 ways that we will be tested in life. And a lot of it is how we react to life situations. The first test is, will you serve others, even those you disagree with, when your dreams of success seem so far away? So sometimes we don't always want to serve others, but it's an extremely important part of life. Will you perform? Number 2, will you perform at your highest ability, no matter how unimportant and unexciting the task may seem? There's a lot of mundane tasks that we need to do on a daily basis, whether it's in our job, whether it's in our home. Just making sure that we prep our food so that we've got healthy things to eat. That contributes to your success, instead of saying, I don't like to cook and I'm not going to do this. So you eat out every day and you wonder why you're 50 pounds overweight. All of those little tiny things, whether it's food prepping, whether it's cleaning your home, whether it's, taking care of the little nitty gritty stuff and doing it in a way that you don't regret it, you don't resent it, but you're doing these things because it's a part of life. Number 3, will you use and develop your gifts in the midst of disaster, or in discouraging circumstances? So it's hard to perform at your peak when you're in the middle of a crisis mode and everything seems to be going wrong. Are you still going to honor God and yourself and react to things and develop your gifts even when it doesn't seem like there's a lot of reward, if you're not going to get anything back from it? But it's important to always be developing your gifts, and those 15 gifts were the ones that I mentioned before. Number 4, will you apply yourself immediately when the opportunity arises, even if the circumstances don't match your ideal? And this was definitely an important one for me, because sometimes opportunities arise and, either you're afraid or it doesn't look like the perfect opportunity in your eyes. And if you don't catch it when God presents it, it may be gone. And it may be gone for a while, and it may take longer. So be ready all the time, for taking the next step in your life, even if it doesn't seem like the opportunity that you wanted, or it's not specifically what you asked for. God is putting it into your life for a reason, so be ready. Number 5, will you see God's hand in your circumstances and forgive those who wronged you? You know, it's very easy to hold a grudge or to have resentment held towards people or circumstances in your past or even in the present. And one thing that I recently started to understand is even when we go through these hard times that seem so difficult and you hate someone for something that they did to you, understand that God put that situation in your life so you could learn and grow from it. So instead of hating that person because they wronged you, forgive them, because that situation allowed you to learn, grow, and understand something. That situation matured you. There was a lesson there that you needed to learn in order to become the person that you need to be for the next step in your life. And if you start to accept every tough situation, you know, the bad past, the mistakes that you've made, or the mistakes that other people have wronged towards you, and understand that God put those there for a reason, accept it, forgive, and move forward, and acknowledge that God did that to you in order to better your life in some way. You may not realize it now. It may take a while to understand, but just have faith that everything happens for a reason. And number 6 in the test that you will come across is will you take credit for your success, or will you rightfully give credit to God? And that's a big one, because, you know, if you just walk around with an ego and, hey, I did this, hey, I did that, you know, God has blessed you in your life with the success that you've had and the things that you've accomplished, and He's allowed you to succeed. So don't forget to acknowledge God. All right, a few more things. In Spiritual Driven Success, Danny also talks about becoming one of God's chosen. And, you know, many are called, but few are chosen. It's probably something that you've heard before. And she talks about how to become one of the chosen. So there are things and actions that you need to take. You got to learn how to deal with people and be good with people. If you're not good with people, hey, that's kind of what makes the world go around, right? So learn how to improve your people skills. Learn to manage conflict and trials. Extremely important. Learn to submit to others. So learn how to be a follower in order to eventually have others follow you. It's important to follow rules and honor others. Learn to bridle your tongue. So use your words and your tongue for only good. If you're putting yourself down, if you're putting other people down, if you're judging people or talking about people behind your back, that's not something that's going to allow you to move up to the level that you necessarily want to be. Learn to choose belief over doubt. So even in those moments where you think the impossible can't happen, you have to have belief and you have to have faith in order to be one of God's chosen. Learn to submit to God. And also learn to ask for miracles. Very important. Another wonderful aspect that is talked about in Spiritual Driven Success is the Refiner's Fire. So in life, we all go through trials and tribulations, but it's extremely important that we go through certain experiences, like I mentioned before, in order to mature and grow and prepare us for bigger situations to come. So if you want a promotion, if you want to grow your business, if you want to improve your home life and your family and have better relationships, you have to go through certain things. You have to go through the fire in order to pull out a lot of the crap that you don't need anymore. Learn how to deal with all of your situations in life better so that God can give you more. You know, we're all going to be tested in a variety of ways. So going through the fire is extremely important. And some things that we learn as we go through the fire and go through all those trials in order to come out on the other side is we learn about being faithful. Being faithful is extremely important. Also being grateful. Learning how to not covet or be jealous of anyone else. Extremely important. Idolatry, so letting go of worshiping any idols. It could be some, worshiping a sports figure, a movie star, a rock star. Maybe you look at Madonna or Britney Spears or someone else, and you hold them on this pedestal. That's idolizing someone, and no one should be idolized, because God should always come first. And letting go of greed, that's an extremely important thing to understand and experience and go through in order to come out on the other side. A few things about how the enemy brings us down. So, whether you want to call it the devil or that negative energy, the way we are brought down is through fear, anxiety, worry, distraction, procrastination, and not having faith. All of these, and they're things that we probably experience on a regular basis, but if you have these negative thoughts, these negative emotions, and these things that just bring you down, you're worried all the time, you're afraid of this, so you don't move forward, or you have doubts and you don't stand strong in your faith, those things are going to hold you back. Those things are going to hold you back from experiencing God, from staying in faith, and they're going to hold you back from being truly successful in all the areas of your life that you want to be successful in. In the book, she talks about discerning voices, so understanding, when you hear the voices of God versus the devil, and those voices that are distracting and bringing you down versus the uplifting voices that help steer the direction of your life. She talks about how to pray, just some basics on the steps to go through in order to have, a good practice of prayer. Facing your giants. We've all got big obstacles and dreams and goals, and so understanding how to approach your giants. She talks about the story of David in the Bible, and just some basic things, attacking without hesitation, fighting using God's strength, having faith and trusting. And last but not least, there's a wonderful section on forgiveness and how forgiveness can completely open up your life to accepting God in and putting you on a better path. So I know this was a little long. I wanted to give some good tidbits of all the wonderful things that are in this book, and maybe I gave too much, maybe I didn't. But please, if any of this resonated with you, any of this you want to learn more about, please pick up Spiritual Driven Success by Danny Johnson. Again, there's the book, and there's also some audio tapes that are absolutely phenomenal. And I hope this this book review helps you gain a little more insight on a direction you can go in if you want to create true success in your life, not only with your spiritual life, but just your life in general. These concepts will help you with your career, they will help you with your family life, and they will just help you on your life path in general. So, Spiritual Driven Success, an amazing, amazing book. Please check it out. And if this helped you, share this, comment. Feel free to contact me. I hope this brought some light to your life of some areas. Maybe it triggered something and you're like, wow, there's some things I really need to work on in order to be more successful in life, or more successful in any area that you're looking at. And maybe some of these things you can start to implement and start to be more aware of and start to take some different action so that you are walking in the path of God to help create the life that you deserve to have and dream of. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and God bless.